How's it going, everybody? Star Fox Craft here. So, obviously, you guys are here because Nintendo had their Nintendo Direct for Star Fox for the Nintendo Switch 2 that had been shadow dropped on Wednesday of last week. So, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on Star Fox for the Switch 2 and the reveal. Three things I'm going to talk about. One, Nintendo Star Fox fans. Two, the art style. And then lastly, some of the gameplay things I'm actually looking forward to in this game. First and foremost, let's talk about Star Fox fans. Okay, so Star Fox fans, you fall into two camps. Either 50% are completely in love with the fact that a new Star Fox game is coming out. The other 50%, you're just not going to make happy at all because the Star Fox game that is coming out for the Switch 2 is essentially just a remake of Star Fox 64. And that's the thing about Star Fox fans, is that there's so many of us, and all of us have different opinions as to what would make a great next generation Star Fox game. But understand that Nintendo knows that not everybody's going to be happy with whatever choice Nintendo decides to make. So Nintendo's in kind of like an impossible situation. They have to figure out how are we going to do Star Fox in such a way that's still going to make profits and be acceptable for the normal video game players, not the diehard fans. So just understand that Nintendo's out to make money, and it's easier for Nintendo, under this impossible task of trying to make a good Star Fox game to appease everybody, it's simply easier for Nintendo to just re-release Star Fox 64. That makes perfect sense. I'm okay with it, especially because they've updated the graphics. We'll talk about that next. And they're adding more to the story by putting in more cutscenes in between the missions, mission briefings, things like that. And of course, the multiplayer has been completely changed up, so I'm looking forward to that too. Let's talk the art style. Now, for the art style, I see that they are going with a much more mature, realistic Star Fox team. I'm 100% on board with it, because think about it. The whole Lylat system, the war between Andross, those are some pretty high stakes. And by giving the characters a more realistic look, I think that makes the game just a little bit more grittier, and it adds more depth and more personality to, the high stakes that is the Lylat war that is going on in the Star Fox universe. So I appreciate the realism, the realistic animations. I also highly appreciate, as a pilot, all the nice little warning stickers and the little paw prints on the side of the Arwing spaceship showing, the warning, keep hand clear, the paw prints that indicate, mission participation and enemy kills, things like that. So that stuff during the art style is fantastic to me. I appreciate that a lot. Let's talk, lastly, about the gameplay stuff, right? So on the gameplay stuff, it looks like, based on the game, it's going to have the exact same map of the Lylat system from Star Fox 64 and Star Fox on the Switch 2. But the multiplayer is getting a significant expansion in what there is. And so I like that. I like being able to go online. The biggest thing I like about the multiplayer aspect of Star Fox on the Switch 2 is that I can play as a pilot, and then my wife can use the mouse mode on the Switch 2 to play as a gunner position. That's kind of fun. It'll get my wife involved in the Star Fox universe just a little bit more than I. So I'm kind of... I'll get my wife more involved in the Star Fox universe just like I am involved in it. And so that will help her... That helps bring more gamers into the fold and more fans into the Star Fox fandom. So I have no problem with that. So just overall, I'm really looking forward to Star Fox on the Nintendo Switch 2. I can't wait for it to come out on June 25th. Now I have to go out and buy a Switch 2. I originally wasn't going to do so, but now that Star Fox for the Switch is coming out, I guess I have to buy a Switch 2 and go ahead and play some Star Fox. So I'm really looking forward to the game. I know that, Nintendo fandom is kind of split right now in the art style and the fact that it's a re-release of Star Fox 64. You know what? As an original Star Fox fan from the original 1993 release, I'm happy with the direction that Star Fox is going. So until next time, guys, good luck.